Good evening, this is Rashad Mitchell coming to you live from my YouTube channel as I continue on my part series. The week that was college football history review, the 1973 college football season. For week 5, the games that are played on October 13th, 1973. Let's get into it. Pittsburgh beat West Virginia 35-7. Pittsburgh tailback Tony Dorsett marked his first game against the bitter rival in a backyard brawl by rushing for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. The Panthers' defense also earned kudos with 2 interceptions that led to Tony Dorsett's touchdowns, extra hard hitting, including a blow that knocked Mountaineers quarterback Abe Dillon out of the game with a separated shoulder in the third quarter. Pittsburgh quarterback Bill Daniels scored 2 short touchdowns in first half as it built a 14-7 halftime lead. Now Mountaineers had scored a touchdown on 8 yards from Dillon to wide receiver Marshall Mills, but were hampered by quarterback injuries as they were shut out in the second half. Meanwhile, North Carolina State beat Maryland 24-22 as the Wolfpack devoured 3 fumbles and interception by Maryland sub quarterback Ben Kennard and in for injured quarterback Bob Avellini to jump to a 17-0 lead. Quarterback Dave Buckey fired a 39-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver John Gargano and scored himself to put NC State ahead. We couldn't keep going the way we were, said Terps coach Jerry Claiborne, so he reluctantly went with quarterback Al Neville, who had dislocated his non-throwing elbow 2 weeks earlier. Neville sparked comeback with 10-yard touchdown pass to tight end Walter White late in second quarter. But kicker Mike Mayer missed critical extra point. Maryland tailback Lewis Carter wrapped pair of second half touchdowns. A round touchdown by North Carolina State armed running back Willie Burden. So Terps trailed 24-22 after Mike Mayer made a 32-yard field goal, 18th of his career with 4:20 left, and trying for new school at field goal record and win with 16 seconds left. Mike Mayer badly hooked a 40-yard field goal try thanks to a bad snap. Louisiana State, the number 10 team in the country, beat Auburn by a score of 20-6. Points will be hard to come by as the respective defenses had allowed combined 78 points entering the contest, with LSU trailing 6-0 and quarterback Mike Miley connected with wide receiver Al Coffey for a 51-yard pass to set up a 5-yard touchdown run by tailback Brad Davis. Davis's scoring run marked the first time all season Auburn had surrendered a rushing touchdown. On next possession, Miley and Davis teamed up for a 28-yard scoring pass. Auburn had taken early lead on a 2-yard scoring run by tailback Rick Neal on drive set up by blocked punt by defensive end David Hughes at LSU 30-yard line. The Bengals defense was so dominant from that point that Auburn only managed 90 yards for the game compared to LSU's 357 yards. Next, number 5 Michigan shut out Michigan State 31-0. Iowa State, the number 1 team in the country, shut out the Wisconsin Badgers 24-0. Missouri, the number 12 team in the country, beat number 2 Nebraska. This is about 2 top 12 teams. Number 12 Missouri beat number 2 Nebraska 13-12. Heroic Missouri sophomore defensive end Bob McRoberts tipped vital 2-point pass to teammate defensive back Tony Gillick in his closing seconds to seal the win. Now Huskers had pulled within 13-12 on a 22-yard pass for quarterback David Humm to wingback Rich Bay that capped a blistering 4-play 72-yard drive. Game's turning point occurred moments early when Nebraska fullback Randy Borg fumbled punt on his 4-yard line. Tigers center Scott Anderson recovered it with 2:10 left to set up fullback Tom Mulkey's 1-yard plunge to raise score to 13-6. Earlier in the second half, middle guard Harris Butler blocked 18-yard field goal attempt by Nebraska kicker Rich Sanger to end big Huskers' threat at Tigers' 2-yard line. Missouri earned only 7 first downs and 170 yards to Nebraska's 21 and 444 yards. Still avenged 62-0 defeat in 1972. Next, Oklahoma, the number 6 team in the country, beat number 13 Texas 52-13. As the Sooners racked up most points scored on Texas since 1908 by going to the air game more than usual and completing 6-7 for 225 yards and 3 long touchdowns. Oklahoma halfback Joe Washington opened scoring with option pass of 40 yards to wide receiver Tinker Owens, who had 163 yards on 4 catches, 163 yards receiving and 4 catches. After 2 field goals for Texas, trimmed things to 7-6. Sooners quarterback Steve Davis hooked up with Owens on a 63-yard scoring pass and threw a 47-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Billy Brooks. Davis added 2 rushing touchdowns in the third quarter as Oklahoma stretched lead to 35-6. Texas fullback Roosevelt Leaks willed his way to an 82-yard rushing, but became less threatening with each Sooner touchdown. Longhorns hurt their chances with 5 turnovers in the second half. Frightening reality for Oklahoma opponents will be play of youngsters as sophomore Washington led Oklahoma with 117 yards rushing, and every touchdown was scored by players with at least 2 years of eligibility that was left. Arkansas beat Baylor 13-7. And finally, UCLA, the number 15 team in the country, beat Stanford by a score of 59-13. Bruins' offensive onslaught continued as they piled up school record 621 yards rushing, scoring on 6 of 7 first half possessions. Halfback Kermit Johnson rushed 168 yards on 11 carries, including a 51-yard scoring jump, first time he touched the ball. And fullback James McAllister ran for 117 yards on 14 carries and 3 touchdowns before he left the game in the second quarter with bruised knee. Johnson and McAllister had been dazzling tandem since the days together at Blair High School in California. Now, Cards were led by quarterback Mike Borila, who threw for 18 of 29 for 151 yards. UCLA had historical shadow over Stanford. 59 points were the most points that was permitted by Cardinals since 72-0 loss to Bruins in 1954. So that concludes a look at the week that was college football season review, 1973 college football season 4. October 13th, 1973, week 5. Let's get into the AP poll as October 15th is concerned. Look at the top 20. Number 20, Miami of Ohio. 19, Arizona. 18, Kansas. 17, Tulane. 16, Colorado. 15, Miami. 14, Houston. 13, UCLA. Number 12 was Arizona State. Number 11 was Nebraska. Number 10, rounded out as this. The top 10 rounded out as this. Number 10, Tennessee. 9, Louisiana State. Number 8, Notre Dame. 7, Missouri. 6, Southern California. Number 5, Penn State. Number 4, Michigan. The top 3 was number 3, Oklahoma. Number 2, Alabama. And number 1, Ohio State. So that concludes a look at week number 5. College football history review, the 1973 college football season for October 13th, 1973. This is week 5. Please like, subscribe, and comment on the channel. Do video this magnitude tomorrow. Until then, talk to you soon.